Do you numb the discomfort of emotional eating with food? I hear you. I've been there too. It's common because food is what we've always known. It's always been there as a source of comfort. So this video is a collection of mindful eating diaries I made 5 years ago in January of 2020. The insights from them are so valuable that I felt the need to share them with you today. I do have to make you aware though that I mention in these videos how tired I am a lot. It's nothing to do with mindful eating. Firstly, I was getting up before 5 o'clock about 4 days a week, I think, at the time. And that takes its toll when I'm doing these videos on the night. And also, I was unaware at the time that I was in the early days of my pregnancy. So, as you can appreciate, there's brain fog that goes with all that. But nevertheless, the insights that came from each one of these 8 videos are so invaluable. Once you can get mindful eating under your hat as a tool, it's just a massive thing for you and your family. So stay tuned to the end for my takeaways of mindful eating and how you can implement them yourself, and how this simple shift can not only change the way you relate to food, but help your kids grow up with a healthy emotional relationship to it too. So let's get started. Welcome back to Carrie's Crack here on A Spiritual Life. If you're new here, I'm Carrie, a mindfulness teacher, a home educating mum of 2 on a non-religious spiritual path. I teach you, the parent, these mindfulness tools so that you can then both teach and mirror them to your spouse and your kids so that you can have a more conscious and connected family. So enjoy the videos and I'll see you on the other side. Hi, welcome to day 1 of my mindful eating. So, yeah, how's the first day been? Well, I know it's not mindful eating, but I did exercise this morning and meditated, so I felt great. So I went into the mindful eating thing really felt really good about it. And then I was a bit undecided as to whether or not to do this intermittent fasting thing. I work early in the morning, so I'll get up at 4:45 tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I got up at 5 anyway today and did some meditation and then some exercise. But when I work, I don't really have breakfast or anything, and then my break's at like 10 o'clock. So if I stop eating at 6 and then don't eat until like a snack, so it's just like a banana or something, at 10, then that's my 16 hours fasting. So I was thinking of just trying to carry that on a little bit on the days I don't work too. So when it came to it today, I was like, oh, don't I? And it got to about 9 o'clock this morning. My daughter had already eaten and I was a bit like, oh, I don't know, what should I do? And I hung out for as long as I could. But I really felt the hunger. You know, it was definitely hunger that I wanted to eat for. So I'll only bore you today with the food that I eat, that I've eaten. So it was porridge with some blueberries, some proper oats, because I normally eat Reggie bread. So that's a plus. And I had green tea and I had a few supplements as well. So good stuff. So started out well, and then don't think I had a snack. Being mindful, got to remember what I've eaten. Lunchtime was salad hummus sandwich, and come about 12 it was after a walk. We've been out for a walk, and then we ate about 1ish, so starting to feel a bit hungry there, not massively hungry. And then tea was a veg chili with beans, mixed beans, with some some form of brown rice and quinoa from a packet, just put in the microwave. but we had all this stuff to use up, so I'm doing that while starting to buy my new stuff, like all the organic stuff and that kind of thing. So yeah, good day. Didn't watch the telly or have my phone on. Tell a lie, I did have the telly on at lunchtime. But not the rest of the time, and I did focus on what I was eating. And I feel all right. You know, I'm just a bit tired now. It's what time is it? 8:20 at night. Getting up early. Do start to feel tired about this time. So, but started off great. Did all the exercise and the meditation. I'll do a meditation before I go to bed. But as for the mindful eating, I ate and drank mindfully. I chose healthy options as part of my visions, my goals, what I want to create for my future. So day one started well. Yeah, if you're doing it with me, good luck, and let's do this. We can do this. So I'm going to share the ups and downs, the bad, the ugly, the good, the bad, the ugly. Yeah, I'm going to share it all, and hopefully we can spur each other on to have to be eating more mindfully. The other thing that I'd like to do, which I did when I came back from some retreats that I've been on, was to sort of pause before I eat as well, and to say thank you. Thank you for this, and not just for, you know, think about everybody that's got that food on that plate for you. So thinking about, you know, anything from everyone that works in a supermarket to the farmers to this, that and the other. So to really just sit down before you have a meal, before you pick up the knife and fork, and say thank you. And if you get to picking up the knife and fork, then maybe that's like a trigger to say, oh, say thank you when you've got the knife and fork in your hand. So that's something I want to start doing again, but admittedly didn't do that today. And also, again, you know, your food and your mindful eating can be part of your gratitude diary at the end of the day as well. Thank you for the wholesome food that I chose to have. So yeah, onwards and upwards. Take each day as it comes, moment by moment, be as mindful as we can, and that's all we can ask for. But I'm here on this journey with you to show you that it isn't all roses, that I'm doing it with you too. All right, so hopefully I can do these every day, but I'll do them as often as I can anyway. All right, see you next time. Bye. Well, after work I felt really tired, and this afternoon I had a bit of a headache. So that would normally be a trigger for me to start not eating mindfully and just go into that chocolate thing again. But I didn't. I allowed that sensation to be there. I had a healthy tea. I was really wanting something after my tea. And I said to myself, I don't need it because I can't be hungry because I've just had my tea. So I left it, but I did think about eating some ice cream. I was in the freezer. And I thought about this before putting my daughter to bed, and then so that was the pause, putting my daughter to bed. And then afterwards I thought, I could do with something, but I don't want something to trigger into something more, if you get me. I don't want to eat a load of stuff. Not that we've got a load of stuff in anyway, I got rid of it after Christmas. So I decided to have a hot chocolate because I know I stop at that. I don't drink a lot of hot chocolate, one's enough. So it allowed me to have what I wanted, but I knew I was safe with that. So yeah, the mindful eating's gone okay. I've been kind to myself today, just with feeling tired and have this headache, and up early again in the morning, so early bed, and hopefully feel a bit brighter tomorrow. But yeah, this mindful eating is going well so far on day 2. Catch you next time. Bye. Day 3, feeling quite good. A lot more energy than I had yesterday. I'm about to have some tea before I go out. Not massively hungry, but having some tea regardless. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about my lunch really, and how I use the mindfulness principles. So I've been trying to avoid cheese because that's the only thing I've really been eating, cheese and egg in my sandwiches since I've been veggie, and I feel like I've just been eating too much dairy. So I've been having a lot of hummus and things like that. But today I actually fancied cheese, so I went with it. And it was chives in the cheese, which tasted a little bit nicer. I did some Worcester sauce on it too. So yeah, cheese on toast. And before I sat down to eat it, I was looking at it, smelling it. Before I ate it, I was saying thank you for everyone that got it on that plate, really being mindful of how it got there and everything. And then when I picked it up, I noticed the texture, because it was toasted, some softer bits than the crust bit, seedy, so I could see all the seeds, the colours, and just really use my senses. Smelt it and then crunched into it, and then against the soft of the cheese. So yeah, really just paid attention. I made sure, actually, before I started, I made sure to turn the tally off. I didn't have YouTube on like I normally do when I'm on my own. So yeah, and I just really enjoyed it. It was really nice to just sit and be really mindful. Now I noticed my mind going off, and it was really like being in a meditation, because I was bringing it back. Oh right, okay, what am I sensing now? And the other thing I was doing was, I know sometimes people tell you to put your knives and forks down in between your mouthful, and you can do that with a sandwich too. You can just put it down. So I was doing that a little bit as well. It felt a bit alien at first. What do I do now I've put it down, because I'm normally there ready. And when I didn't do that, I noticed that I was actually, instead of paying attention to what was already in my mouth, I was looking for the next bite. I was watching the next bite, so my focus was on that. So that was really interesting. Yeah, so I just think it was a good practice of mindful eating today at lunchtime. Hopefully we do the same today with so hope your mindful eating is going well too. Just be present with it, feel it, notice it, use all your senses, and just notice anything that comes up. Have you got an urge to pick up that phone? Have you got a desire for putting the telly on? Have you got a desire for ramming it in? I know I used to do that. So yeah, hope it's going well. Day 3. I was working this morning, so I wake up at 4:45, and I also woke up, I set my alarm for 2 o'clock to go on a live stream thing that I'm doing. So that was for an hour. So I went to sleep about 3:15, then I was up at 4:45. So very tiring day. So when I woke up at 4:45, I actually felt quite hungry. I wouldn't normally have anything to eat before I go to work. So I did have some cereal this morning because I did feel the hunger. It was a hunger reason for eating, nothing else. So that was that. And then when I finished work, I came home and had something. And again, just grabbed something quick because I was tired. It was a cheese toastie again. But yeah, I ate that. I think I did have my phone on. But that is what it is. And then I didn't really have any tea. I was getting quite hungry at tea time, but I was going out and we were eating out, like a bring and share thing. It's like a meditation type group that I go to, and it's once a month. So yeah, I usually have tea and then I get there and overfaced with all this food. So I thought, no, I'll wait and eat there. I had a little bit of something before I went, just a few mouthfuls of something, which was nice, and I enjoyed that. And that was around family, just before I left and went out. And then when I went to this thing, this is the first time I've done the mindful eating diaries for when I've been out and eaten with some people. And I found it quite difficult to eat mindfully in that situation. So you're talking to people, it's like a buffet thing, you go and help yourself and you're eating. More difficult, isn't it, to eat more mindfully in that situation? I did try to, I burnt my tongue with some soup. But I was very mindful of what I wanted to eat, and I could feel some urges to find what was the sweet stuff on there, where's the chocolate and where's the biscuits and that kind of thing after I'd had my soup and stuff. But I had some fruit, and I tuned in. I don't do this a lot. This is why I'm doing this. I actually tuned into my body, and does it want anything else? Does it actually physically want and need something else? And the answer was no, I didn't. And that was enough. Felt really weird and strange to just not keep going. Breaking that habit, definitely. So, day 4, I believe. So far, so good. See you next time. It's been an interesting day, a little bit of ups and downs. So started off well, day off today from work, and had a loungy morning. And then met a friend late morning to go for a walk in the woods, which was lovely, with the dogs. And from there we went to have some lunch, and it was amazing because I found I had choice. Normally being a veggie, there's not that much choice. So I had some soup, which was lovely, and I was being as mindful as I could. We were right opposite the cake stand bit. It was like a glass cabinet full of cakes, everything. There was like a caramel shortbread that was like this thick and had that much caramel in the middle. I was like, oh, and chocolate brownies and everything. I was like, oh. My daughter wanted cake as well. She wanted cake afterwards, and so I almost got it. And I actually think, and I thought this was quite a good point to bring in, that I was with 2 friends at this point, and one of the friends is an older lady than me, and she's really good at cooking from scratch. She doesn't use a microwave. She won't carry her food in plastic and things like that. She's really, really good, and I aspire to be more like her. And I actually think if it hadn't been for her sat there, I probably would have caved and had something. So it was just interesting to bring that point in. Like when you go out for eat with your friends, I guess one is, are you aware of the friends that you have, and do you make the choices based on around who goes, or do you find yourself different when you're around different friends when it comes to eating? I just thought that was quite interesting. Definitely probably would have caved. I think I was tempted to just maybe share something with Jasmine and just have something small. Anyway, so that was lunch. So it all went well up to then. Then we came home and my daughter wouldn't nap, having walked loads, and she's only 3. So I thought, we're in for a long night. So that was that, she didn't nap. Then near work ending, hubby rings and says his car's broken, he's in a lay-by somewhere, and it's a gearbox or a transition box or something that's just blown. I was like, that's all we need. Shortly after that, my daughter poos in her pants and gets all her hands in it. And I'm like, oh, they say it comes in threes, right? So why am I telling you all this when I'm talking about food? So because, again, it was interesting. Now, this is the kind of things that you think about when you're being more mindful and you're aware of things. So I was, at the time of all this happening, I was having, making veg chili with a jacket potato. And I'd made it and put it to the side. So it was ready for me after I'd cleaned up the mess and everything. And thoroughly washed my hands. So yeah, we'd gone back to the table and I was eating my dinner. I didn't say thank you. I didn't put my knife and fork down. I was ramming it in. But I did pause and notice this. And I could feel the stress. It was sort of in the stomach area. I could feel it being like, oh, quite agitated. And I've just been thinking now, while I've just been bathing my daughter, that's probably one of the things to be mindful about when we're eating, actually, because if we're stressed and cortisol is released, we're in the stress response. That means your body's trying to fight and everything's going to that, rather than digestion. So we don't digest our food properly. Maybe, I don't know this, I know that much, but I'm guessing now that the right hormones aren't released as well at the right time, and maybe the quantities are a bit out of funk because the balance in the body's out of sorts because of this cortisol as well. So it just got me to thinking about, we often eat when we're in stress, but actually, there's my daughter screaming. We're not having a good night, are we? So maybe we shouldn't eat when we're under stress. Maybe we should take a pause, take some breaths, calm ourselves down, and then eat. Get our body back to balance before we give it something else to do. Because when it's got so much cortisol running around in the body, it's got all that to deal with, hasn't it? And it's trying to balance it back. It's saying, hey, there's too much going on here. We need to go back to normal, to balance. But it can't do that at the same time as, it can't do that fully while it's trying to digest as well. And you can see how that has issues with our food. So again, I just thought that was quite interesting. So a difficult day, afternoon, but some good insights as well. So one, the people that you're eating with, does that affect you and your food choices? And do you eat under stress? And how does it feel? So for me, when I was eating under stress, I was ramming it in, certainly wasn't paying attention, certainly wasn't looking at colours and textures and smell and all that good stuff that I did the other day. Certainly wasn't doing that. I was just ramming it in. But I did pause. Once I noticed it, I paused and I started to put my knife and fork down. So again, it's just habit, getting into the swing of things. And it'll come. Yeah, the more we do, the more it'll come. And I actually think when you eat when you're hungry and not for any other reason, I haven't really gone into this yet because I was waiting for it to pop up and then I would discuss it more, but because it will, no doubt. But when you want to eat for any other reason than hungry, so I'm stressed, I'm craving, I need comfort, I'm tired. That was the other thing. I was really tired today, even though I wasn't working. I was really tired and I felt like I wanted sugar. But I tuned in and I was like, I'm not actually hungry. I'm just tired. So maybe when we're feeling like that and we're feeling tired, if we can, go and just shut our eyes. You don't have to go to sleep, but I mean, have a proper rest. Off the phone, off the telly, take yourself away and just lie down. Now, I've done that before as a break within my work day when I'm working in the home office. So I'll have a timer on. I think it was 15 minutes. I think if I had any more than that, I would have fallen asleep. But to get a different position, you know, not chair position, to straighten and extend the body, I just laid on my back, closed my eyes, and then I set the timer, and 15 minutes later I was up. I felt refreshed and ready to go again. So we can do that. Okay, if you've got a job where you're at somewhere else to work, then that's more difficult. But you could go and have a toilet break. I say this all the time. You could have a toilet break. You could take a few deep breaths. And even doing that can revitalise you somewhat. So I invite you to try it. Yeah. Okay, I'll go and help hubby with daughter and bid you good night. There isn't a lot to say tonight, really. No great epiphanies anyway. So I finished work at 11 today and then felt quite hungry, but I needed to go into town to do some stuff, so I knew I needed to get something to eat, and I was tempted to get something from work and then eat it as I was walking, just because I didn't have a lot of time to go and do some food shopping and get back home, blah blah blah. So, but I thought, no, that's totally not mindful eating while you're walking. Do any of you do that? Do any of you grab your lunch on the go, literally on the go? Or do you always make a point of stopping to eat and sitting down to eat? I don't do it much, but I have been known, if I'm out and about, I'll walk while I'm eating. So I decided to get a sandwich and then go back to the car and eat it before I set off. So yeah, I made a point of doing that. And then tea was nice, really healthy. And then my daughter had made some little chocolate muffin things with Granny today, so they were staring at me. I wouldn't say it was a craving that I caved in for. If they weren't there, I wouldn't be craving any chocolate, but I did have one. It's only little, and Granny doesn't make things with lots of... It's not really sugary, you can taste. It's not that sweet, so I didn't think it was too bad. And I was mindful when I ate it. But I am noticing that it's harder to be mindful when there are people around. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. Saturday, day 6, and still going good. I'm feeling nearly a week into this, and I'm really paying attention to my food choices, to my behaviours. I have been a bit tired again today, but I've noticed that I haven't been reaching or wanting chocolate. Like I say, that muffin was just there, so I caved in that way. But I was mindful when I ate it, and I didn't want more. They're still sat there. I would have normally gone back for more. So yeah, I'm noticing that I'm paying attention a lot more. We'll see when we get into the thick of things. We're only a week in nearly, so I want a video when I'm really having a craving and talk through my emotions and feelings and sensations in the body, and then also I intend to do a meditation when I'm in that state as well, and see what that does. So stay tuned. I'm sure we'll hit that point at some point, at some time. So stay tuned. Keep going if you're doing it with me. Great to have you on the journey. See you next time. It's been a good day today. I've had a really good family day out. Had a bit of a chill this morning. So yeah, I had scrambled eggs on toast. I was hungry. I ate them fairly slowly. I tried to remember that the odd time I remembered, and I put my knife and fork down. I think what triggers me now is when I've got my next fork full, when I've still got something in my mouth. So I think that actually triggered me to go, I haven't finished this yet. Let's put knife and fork down and wait. So I did that a couple of times. I didn't do it throughout, but yeah, this is about bringing it into your life, bringing awareness to it. It's not necessarily about being mindful of every morsel of food you're putting in your mouth. It's just bringing mindfulness to it, or at least from my perspective. So then we went out for the day, had to drive out somewhere and had some lunch, and it wasn't particularly healthy. I fancied it. It was cheese at the end of the day. It wasn't until I ordered it that I was like, oh, it's cheese actually. It was a massive brie baguette with chips. So it wasn't. I had some salad, and I would normally leave the salad, but I was mindful to eat the salad actually. So even though it was only a little tiny bit at the side, not massively healthy meal, it was a massive baguette. I could have ate half. I didn't need to eat all the chips. I was aware of that. But I was also thinking about dessert, that came in my head, and I was like, no, I'm absolutely stuffed. I don't need it. I had a mocha as well. So, I was full as a gun, but, back in the day, I would have had a dessert as well because I was out and I was enjoying myself. So, yeah, it was enough to the point where, what time did we eat? I must have eaten about 1ish, 1:30, and it's now 8:10 and I'm not hungry. So I may have some cereal before bed, but I'm just waiting to tune in and see what I need. So I may or may not eat tonight. I've been drinking plenty and that's fine. So the other thing is that I weighed myself this morning. So this is day 7, and so a week in, and I'm about half a stone lighter. Weirdly, we'll see after this giant baguette, and see if that's made a difference. But yeah, I mean, I felt good. I didn't see massive results like physically myself, but I felt good. So yeah, now it's starting to show. So even though the main reason for doing this isn't for weight loss, that's the bonus. And going back to eating bad or good food, just tuning into your body and eating what it is you want and stopping when you're full. So even if you eat the bad stuff, like I don't really like to label it good and bad, but the not so healthy stuff, if you eat that, then tune in and just know when you've had enough and stop. That's all I'd say. I necessarily didn't for the meal, but I stopped before I had anything else. So, and it makes a difference, and it makes you feel not so restricted, There's times when I used to do, I've done this before, and there's times when I was doing it, and I might go out and I might really fancy some cake or something, and I'll just eat the cake with a coffee or something if you're out with a friend. I won't, or a starter or something, not necessarily a main meal, and then feel, oh, well, because I want a cake, I'm going to have that now on top of that meal. Tune in, see what it is you want, see what you feel like you need, see what you feel like you want to choose. Do you want to choose healthy because it's for your highest good, not just about getting into those size X jeans, remember? Or is it, yeah, I really want that chocolate or whatever it is, or that beer or something, but then I'll be all right with that. I'm not going to have any more. And if you get those urges, then bring it back to what's going on really, because it's not hunger then. Because that's the other thing. when I've finished a meal and like today, I really want something else, some chocolate, some dessert, whatever. I've said no. Well, I can't actually need or really want that because it's not hunger, because I've just eaten. I'm fine. So coming back to that realization, that remembering, then will help you to not follow those cravings and addictions, however you term them. Okay, so yeah, good day today, good family day. Found out about losing some weight, which is good. And enjoyed my food and was being mindful at the same time. So it's going well. A week in now, day 7. See you next time. Bye. Today was a good day with regards to the amount that I ate or didn't eat. I had some porridge with fruit this morning with my daughter, and I could have probably waited a little bit longer. I'm not used to eating real porridge oats. I don't really like the consistency of it. I normally eat ready bread. So yes, I was doing the healthy thing, having porridge oats with coconut milk and fruit. So yeah, let's just say I ate them. And I noticed the texture, and which wasn't massively to my liking, but I knew it was good for me and I made the right choice in that respect. Like I say, I could have waited maybe another hour before I ate, to be honest, but I wanted to eat with my daughter. I think because of the consistency and because it took me a while to eat each mouthful, then I did eat slower than I would normally, and put the spoon down as well. So that was good at breakfast. And then at dinner time, I call it dinner, at lunchtime, I took sandwiches to my friend's house for lunch, and my daughter packed a little lunch up for my daughter too. And probably not so mindful there because I'm busy gabbing away and eating at the same time. So yeah, it was 2 buns. Again, I probably could have just done with the one, to be honest. What else did I have? So the 2 sandwiches. I think that's it. I took some fruit, but I didn't have it. I took some little veggie sausage roll type things, and I didn't eat them either. So yeah, I think that's all I had, and that was enough. Again, 2 of them rolls, and I was fine. I didn't need any more. Then by the time tea time came around, or dinner as you might say, very tired, and Jasmine was playing up. We only just got back home about 4, so by the time it came to cook, I really just didn't want to cook. So we had some things to eat up anyway. I had a veggie lasagna, not a veggie lasagna, a veggie pizza that needed eating a fresh one, so I just had that. So I had the whole pizza to myself, and it was somewhat mindful, but when you're trying to get your daughter to eat at the same time, it's a bit tricky. You know, like I said the other day, you feel your frustrations building. You just want her to eat. She's messing about. She's on and off the seat and all this stuff. So, you know, this is real life. This is what it is. And mindfulness basically says to allow all this stuff. The unpleasant and the pleasant, allow it. but just don't let it control you. So whereas when I was a bit frustrated with it the other night when I was eating the chili and really ramming it in, I think because it was pizza and I was putting it down after every mouthful, it wasn't as aggressive, for want of a better word, eating. So it was okay, but I still felt it a little bit. So yeah, when you're with other people, when you've got other things going on at the same time, you may or may not want to eat, but you are, then it's those times where it's a bit more difficult, I think, to be more mindful when you eat. So yeah, it was good. I mean, when I'm tired is again when I reach for the chocolate. We had 2 little cakes left over that my daughter made with her granny the other day, and I could have easily eaten them back in the day, or the old me, and I didn't. So yeah, again, obviously felt stuffed with the pizza, but I wouldn't, in the past, I wouldn't think anything of ramming a load of chocolate in as well. So yeah, when it's being a focus point and you're being aware of it, it's making a difference. It really is. So that is day 8 of Mindful Eating Diaries. So I hope you got something from those videos. Before I dive into my 8 takeaways that I got from reviewing them, I just want to say that mindful eating isn't about being mindful with every single mouthful you eat, all of the time, 100% of the time. It's not that. But it is about being aware of what is driving you to eat and how you're eating. So to eat mindfully when you do eat, as often as you can, as often as you remember. And it's to know, are you eating for hunger or other reasons? So this leads us into the first one. So number 1 of my takeaways from doing this is, why are you eating? Are you eating for comfort? So we mentioned that comfort is a common thing when it comes to eating, because when we're a kid, we've always had access to food, haven't we, since childhood. So it's the one thing we've always had access to. And actually sweet food is what has allowed for that attachment to our mother through breast milk, or even bottled formulas. They're quite sweet because you want that bond. So the body releases sweet milk so that the child will take from the mother. But it does create a bond and it does create an attachment, which is what it's designed to, but then that carries on in later life. So having a comfort around food is quite normal, and it's realising, is it crossing the line? Is it having some detrimental effect? So that's with it regards to comfort. Are you eating it for comfort? Can you get your comfort from something else? Craving. Are you craving chocolate? Now, things like chocolate, I crave chocolate a lot. And so one thing I've learned is, am I really craving chocolate, or am I craving a sweet thing relating to comfort? So what I do now is, if I can say honestly that I want that particular chocolate, then that is a craving, and allow it. I'm not saying not to have these things, but just know why and where's your limit. If you're going to have some, where's it going to stop? Are you going to eat the whole bar, the whole packet, or can you just have a little taste of it? And if you are wanting this after you've eaten a big meal, do you really need it? So think about cravings, and is it masking something else? Stress, talked about that in the video. Your hormones are released when you're in stress. So you're in fight flight, your body is not ready, it's not got the hormones to deal with the food being digested. So it's not the best time to eat when we're stressed. So if you can put that off, that's better. I'll come back onto that in point 8, so I won't say much on that at the minute. And tired. So like I said at the beginning, I was tired a lot in these videos. Like I said, I was getting up early for work, and I was pregnant at the time, unbeknownst to me. So, but I still managed it. Even though I was tired, I still managed to eat mindfully most of the time. So what you can do is go and have the rest and come back if you're still hungry. So point number 2, why are you choosing that food or drink? Why? Do you want to taste it? So back to what I said about chocolate. Do you want to taste that specific food? If yes, then fine, go ahead. It's healthy. So you're choosing food because it's healthy, because it's as your value. So I have a value that's around being healthy. I am healthy. And it's for my highest good. And it's not the superficial to go into exercise genes, okay? So I'm choosing to eat food because it's healthy. Are you choosing to eat food or drink, especially the drink on this one, because you feel obliged or you're coerced to having it? So let's talk about alcohol for this one. So if you're sort of deciding to not drink or not drink as much, or you want some alcohol-free days or whatever it is, you go out with a group of friends and they're all like, oh, come and have drinks, and you don't want to, and then they keep badgering you. You know, stand your ground, go back to your values and your reasons for doing that. I just stopped drinking altogether 2 years ago now, over 2 years ago, because I just didn't have, there's no benefit to it anymore for me. It wasn't intentional, it just happened. So if you think that there's a downside to the effects after you've had a drink, then remember those and be mindful about that. If you want the one, have the one. If you want the two, have the two. But when does it get too much? So don't feel obliged or coerced if you don't want to have it. And that goes back to the people that you're with, isn't it? Which was covered in the videos. Think I've eaten bad earlier, so sack it. Yeah, that sort of, oh, well, I've already had half a cake, so, sack it for the rest of the day. That kind of thought. Well, no, you've had it. That there's nothing you can do about that. But you can do something now. So don't ruin it by adding to it, okay? You've had it, you've enjoyed it earlier. You don't necessarily need or want it now, okay? Don't get in that mindset of, I've done it earlier, so sack it. Listen and tune into your body. So why are you choosing that food and drink? Listen and tune into your body. Do you want it? Do you need it? Are you hungry? Are you wanting it for some other reason? Number 3 then, pause before you eat and say thank you. So I did this with the cutlery, didn't I? And put it down, or if it was a sandwich, I'd put the food down, put the sandwich down. Pause before you eat, say thank you. If you got to picking up the knife and fork, then that can be your reminder. Excuse me. And you're saying thank you to who are all that made it possible. That's mindful eating, to get it on your table. Yeah, and I covered that in the video. Number 4, use all your senses. So again, see, hear, smell, taste and touch. So especially your crunchy food, listen to it. The different textures. So you've got the crunchiness of the texture or the softness. So my example was that cheese on toast, wasn't it? The crunchy toast with soft cheese. And the smells, especially if you're having really aromatic foods like curries and things like that. Really smell and see the colours as well. If you're having a nice vibrant colourful plate, which is what we should do, isn't it? We're supposed to eat the rainbow, as they say. So look at that and just appreciate the look of it. Sometimes if you're going out for food, they present it so well as well, don't they? It's almost like you don't want to eat it. So enjoy all the senses when you're eating mindfully. And number 5, don't look for the next mouthful of food while you still have some in your mouth. Okay, now I was recognising that I was doing this. So I would always cut my knife and fork, eat it, and even though I was present with what was in my mouth, I'd be cutting the next food. I'd be getting the next lot on my fork. And I was aware of that, so I would stop. Because if you're doing that, you're not fully present with what's in your mouth, are you? Number 6, turn other distractions off where possible. So TV, phone, reading, all that jazz. Yeah, get rid of all the distractions, she says, as I got distracted because my laptop went off, sorry. Yeah, because it's a distraction and because you're not able to be mindful with that. And that's a big one for me. And I found that I was more present when I just turned my phone off. So try it, see what you think of that. Number 7, put your cutlery down or food in between each mouthful. Mentioned that. It just gives you that pause. Number 8, don't eat when your body is out of balance. So this is what I was saying earlier. So when you're stressed, angry or anxious, wait a while and take some breaths to regulate. Get your body back in homeostasis, that balance, before it can release the hormones it needs to work on your digestion system. Because when you're in fight or flight and you're stressed and you're angry, your hormones are getting ready to go to your extremities. That's how you get a stitch. Your hormones are going to your extremities for the fight and flight, for you to move and get out of the way. They're going away from your stomach. So if you've just eaten and then you're in a stressful position and you end up running away or whatever, that's how you can get digestive issues. So regulate yourself before you then eat. Give yourself that pause, breathe, and then you can get back to the eating. So that's the 8 points that my takeaways for you. If you got any more, drop them down in the comments. Before I relate this to life at home, family life, I would just like to say, if you have got some benefit from this, I know it's a long video, so thanks for stopping this far if you have. Like, share, subscribe, ring that notification bell so you know when they all come out. I do these vlog styles on a Friday and teaching style videos on a Tuesday, so look out for those. So relating it to family life, then let's get on with that. If you, the parent, follow these tips and become more mindful with your eating habits, you can teach these skills and mirror them to your partner and kids. That's how we learn. That's how we learn as kids. It doesn't leave us as an adult. Before we even could understand language, we would mirror. So if you're mirroring to those around you, and it's your spouse as well, not just your kids, and you're mirroring some good habits around eating. I mean, I would find I was doing it and I was copying what my mum used to do. When I was a kid, I would find chocolate wrappers down the sofa because she would do that on a night and then forget she'd put them there. And then I was starting to do it and I was like, oh, that was a bit of a wake-up call. I was like, oh, okay, I've got to stop this. So yeah, what you do goes to your kids. So that's why I'm teaching you, the parent, so that you can learn the tools and they get to see it. His spouse as well. My hubby will sit and have a drink and have like 5 or more cheese and crackers on a night after tea. And I'm like, but he won't, because I do intermittent fasting as well as mindful eating. I'll often now not eat on a night at all. But he'll take that on board, even though he doesn't, he's still doing his thing and he's still doing it his way. Eventually he will drop that off because of him seeing it and seeing the benefits. You can start asking yourself and them, is it hunger why you're eating, or is it something else? So ask yourself that and ask your kids. I know what it's like when it comes to the kids. I'm hungry. Are you really? Are you bored? But be prepared as the parent for them to say, actually, no, I'm not hungry. I'm upset about it. And then you use the mindfulness tools then to open them up and to have that conversation. So you're coming away from the food and it's almost like you're opening up another can of worms, isn't it? And you don't want to go there. And that's why we do it. That's why it's the discomfort of pain that we mask with food. You've got to be prepared for that. For yourself as well. So if you're saying, no, I'm anxious, I'm worried about something, I'm scared, I'm hurt, I'm whatever it is, you've got to then be able to sit with it. But by being with it, and not pushing it away and getting close to it, it's not as scary as you think, and it actually eases that discomfort. The more we do this, the easier it becomes. And I've got videos on that. I'll link the playlist at the end for the mindfulness videos, and you can work through those, and it'll help you. If it's the latter, then you get curious about that and gently lean into it. So yeah, I've mentioned that. And the mindfulness playlists. By learning these skills, you are helping your children see there's another way to dealing with difficult emotions. And they learn to not fall into the trap of reaching for addictions, such as food, social media, progressively more addictions, alcohol and drugs as they get older, okay? So that's a massive one for me. This is why I do this. This is why I'm teaching the parents and not the kids, because you know your kids better than I do. So you know how to get into them. I teach you so you can learn them, you can teach the skills and mirror them, okay? So if you're learning mindfulness tools to help with all the challenges and difficulties of life, as well as food, but other things, like these difficult emotions, then they learn some tools so that they're not getting distracted from other things. They don't feel the need to run away from this pain. They are able to be with the pain, use the tools that you're teaching them and you're actually mirroring to them as well. Things like meditation, things like journaling, things like getting out in nature, things like exercising when we're feeling those things, after we've felt them, and then like when we're feeling them and then afterwards doing those things. So, and it's massive. If they are learning this now as they're young, then they don't have to go to drugs and alcohol. Yeah. So thank you for staying so long. I know this video ended up being quite a long one. If any of it resonates with you, let me know in the comments. And a question you can drop your answer to in the comments as well is, what's your underlying reason for you reaching for food? What's your main one? And could you try mindful eating and be okay with getting close to your emotions? Let me know in the comments how that works for you. And if you've tried it before and it's maybe not worked, why not? You can check out all the playlists here, wherever it goes. And thanks for watching. Much love. Bye for now.